Welcome everybody. Today we are going to make some cheap terrariums and also find some materials for some other projects. And so we are in our local woods. There's my dad on a walk. There's Eddie exploring. But we're gonna find as many things as we can to use in a native terrarium, and then also I'm gonna show you guys how to make a cheap terrarium with the plants you already have. So stay tuned and I'll show you the process. Okay, so we're on the side of the Great Kishwaukee River. And there's some nice little sand right here. That's gonna be perfect to use for a false bottom. It can also top off a container. I'm just gonna put, hey, Eddie, no, come here. But I'm just gonna put it in this little baggie. It's a pretty nice winter day today, 37. That might sound pretty cold, but it's been really freezing lately. So we're gonna get some of this sand and bring it home. Got this great little spade to put the sand in the bag so I don't have to use my hands. Pretty nifty, huh? Okay, the next thing we need is some nice soil. Luckily, being in the Midwest, we have some of the best soil in the world. So I'm just gonna take some from right here. All right, we got some sand, some soil. The next thing we're gonna need is some actual plants. Right now, it's kind of hard to find stuff, obviously, because most things are dead. But we're gonna scan the ground for any green that we find. There's some right there. So we're just gonna dig that up, and then we'll be able to put it in the terrarium. And then we'll also look for some other plants. Looks like we got some over here. That might be good. And another one that is really good for winter is mosses. And that can be found on wood a lot. So we're gonna look for some mosses. And hopefully that'll make for a good terrarium. The last thing we're gonna find after that are some decorations. So twigs, sticks, rocks, gravel, anything that kind of makes it feel a little more natural. And so I'll document it all and you guys will see. Got lots of moss on this fallen log, that's great. Okay guys, now I'm back at my house. Luckily my dad is a gardener, so there's lots of opportunities for me to find some cool decor to put in the terrarium. And so what I'm doing is I'm just looking for anything that might be natural to the landscape. Like these leaves would be perfect. Pine cones if we had them right now. I know we have some dead cone flowers, so I might actually take some of those. But these are also some good plants that you could take and put in your terrarium as well. All right, I have a pretty good bounty of materials to work with. So let's go inside and put this thing together. Okay, let's talk about the container. So this is actually just an old pizza sauce jar that I cleaned up. It has some numbers on the side, which makes it a little bit hard to see inside. But other than that, it was completely free to use. Besides the fact that you obviously had to buy it. But if you're gonna buy something like this anyways, it makes a perfect terrarium jar. That's what we're gonna use for our free terrarium container. I went ahead and rinsed the sand that we got from the river quite a few times just to get any debris out. There's still a little bit, but this is what's gonna act as our false bottom. So I wanted to clean it up as much as possible just to make sure it looked good. All right, let's get started building the terrarium. I laid down a towel because this can get kind of messy, but you just wanna be careful. So first thing, obviously we gotta open it up, and we're gonna add a false bottom first. The false bottom is just a fancy way of saying a drainage layer, because we don't want the water to get soaked up in the terrarium soil. And so the false bottom is gonna act as a little layer for the water to go when there's excess, so it doesn't mess up the soil and hurt the plants. We're gonna take this nice terrarium tool and spread it out. This could be anything. Actually, that's not too bad. It's a little bit high, but we can work with this. Just try to flatten it out best you can. And try to clean this sand off the sides too, because that's a little bit unsightly. Okay, I cleaned this up the best I could and tried to get some excess water out. Now our next step is going to be adding the soil that we found. All right, after looking at this a little bit more, this terrarium is already super wet just from the area that we got this stuff from. We have a lot of options to plant. We got a bunch of moss, and I think this is gonna look good with just moss planted and then some nice decorations. Sometimes you can overdo it by doing too much stuff. This is gonna look really nice, especially with the winter theme. All right, we got kind of this moss carpet going on. I'm thinking what we're gonna do is make almost a moss wall in the back with all these wooden pieces of moss. That's gonna give it a little bit of depth and make it feel cooler. Okay, it's a little bit hard to see, but we have 3 pieces kind of in the back making a wall. I think it really brings it together. It looks pretty cool. Now we're gonna add some of the decorations, and it should be good. We have quite a few options to choose from. I went a little bit overboard. We have some of these seed pods. This big pine cone is definitely not gonna work, but I think I'm gonna have to end up going with the smaller items just because this jar isn't very big. But hey, it looks like the terrarium expires in 2024. So I got at least a year with this. That's nice. Here's what I mean by saying sometimes you can over collect stuff. I ended up only using 3 items. It's getting a light a little bit. Put a seed pod and 2 coneflowers in there. Kind of makes them look like a little jungle in there or some trees. I think I'm just gonna keep it like this, simple but satisfying. If you guys enjoyed this video and this little tutorial, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. We're gonna have some more videos like this out soon. Thanks for watching and have a great day.